boys and ghouls, Mootini here.
Guess who's back? Back again.
We are back, my boys and ghouls. And, as usual, I'm so excited for this week's video. Now, apart from what we're discussing for this week, I'm also really excited to be wearing this new dress here today. You'll notice. Now, this dress is one of the two that I just got here more recently from Lively Ghosts.
Go check her out for some spooky finds, you guys. I'll put a link down below.
And I have been wanting to get one of her dresses for such a long time now. And I finally bit the bullet and I did it. And safe to say, I'm in love with them. I look like a really cute little goth Victorian witch. But yeah, a little retail therapy never hurt anybody. Now, before we really start getting into it, I want to apologize just a little bit in advance, you guys. Just in case you hear James kind of muttering in the background with today's video. He's online at the moment playing a game of Magic the Gathering with all of our friends. Yes, he is. And just because I got a film, who am I to stop him from having some fun? Alrighty, my friends, for this week's video, we are going to be discussing horror movie sequels that suck. And I know the word suck, it has quite a hard punch to it when I say it like that. But you will very quickly see, my friends, all of the films we discuss here today, they really missed the mark when it came to a sequel. And we're really gonna be reminded of the pure fact, just because you can make a sequel doesn't necessarily mean you should make one. So come along, my friends, it's gonna be a spooky time. James. Alrighty, my friends, I think we can all agree on at least one thing here. There have been some pretty great sequels out there, not just for the horror genre, but to name a couple off of my head that do happen to be horror movies: Terminator 2, Aliens, Scream 2, that's one of my favorites. Also, Paranormal Activity 2, which honestly I think is severely underrated. But there are a lot of horror movie sequels out there that are they're just not good and was just really disappointing. I'm gonna repeat myself here. Just because you have the ability to make a sequel does not mean that you should make one. So here are a couple of those horror movie sequels that just really missed the mark for me. Alrighty, you guys, from this point here on in the video, we are gonna be discussing some spoilers. Just in case you guys haven't seen any of the movies that I discuss here today, all of them are gonna be linked down here below. So here's your warning now. 3, 2, 1, bye-bye. Now this first one is technically a sequel, but it's part 6 in this franchise. Paranormal Activity Part 6, The Ghost Dimension, released in 2015.
The Fleeg family discovers a rather special camera that allows them to see the supernatural, and when their daughter Leela begins to be stalked by the ever-so-famous Toby, the family must do what they can to save her.
This movie stresses me out. Only because, how the hell am I supposed to believe that this is a found footage movie when you release it in 3D? Fucking 3D, you guys. I mean, just look at this. The demon's hand is all... This really made me go, oh my god, this is real. This is so scary. The plot also just does not make any sense whatsoever to the rest of the Paranormal Activity franchise, which we'll be going over soon enough. Next on this list, we've got Alien 3, released in 1992.
Following the events of the previous movie, Ellen Ripley becomes the sole survivor after crash landing on a prison planet with all men and no weapons. There, of course, is a xenomorph and all hell breaks loose.
Within the first 15 minutes, you guys, it is just a huge slap in the face to the fans of the previous movie Aliens. It's also really depressing. I mean, hell, we find out all of our characters except Ripley died. That's right, they kill Hicks and Newt And also Bishop. Well, Bishop does kind of come back a little bit later on, but he dies, essentially. Killing everybody off in the beginning is code word for none of the actors wanted to come back. It just really puts this bad taste and this tone in my mouth for the rest of this film, which is just subpar. Especially with what we just got in Aliens. But also the biggest kicker for me is that they kill Newt. But if you read the comics, Newt does have a much happier ending. And is alive and well. I mean, hell, we have an entire autopsy scene of Newt's body when Ripley thinks that there's a xenomorph in her stomach. And believe it or not, there actually was going to be a lot more to that entire scene, and it was going to be even more gruesome and horrific than what we got in the film. When they showed the movie, including all that gory stuff to test audiences, everyone hated it. They all thought it was way too sad and horrific to just see what they do to this little girl that we fell in love with in the other movie. Still horrific to see and think about, but I'm glad they decided to cut majority of that out. Next up on this list, we have a real duty of a movie, Aliens vs. Predators, released in 2004.
A group of scientists discover a shifting pyramid, where they then discover that this is a hunting ground for predators to breed and hunt aliens so they can prove their manhood. Sounds cool, right? Wrong!
Now, I remember when this movie was coming out, the hype for it was so real. Hell, my dad used to own a comic book store when I was a little girl called 21st Century Comics. I remember in the midst of this about to come out, my dad had an entire event at his comic book store, and everybody got to come and place bets on who they thought was gonna win. The xenomorph or the predator. The way you got to place your bet was he had mixed drinks, one for the xenomorph and one for the predator. And you picked the drink of the one you thought was gonna win. God, I need to get the recipe from him though. Those drinks were delicious. Dad, I'm talking to you. Give me those recipes, please. I love you. And in the middle of everyone being so excited for this movie to come out, what we got, it was just a huge disappointment. When I eventually got old enough to see the movie, I was like in kindergarten when this came out, by the way. I really thought it was gonna be on the level that Freddy vs. Jason was. Some cheese, yes, I was expecting, but still a pretty fun movie to watch. The only best parts we have are like the two fights we have of the xenomorph and predator. The rest is just so plot heavy on these scientists that we just care nothing about. Huge disappointment to the horror fans. And next up on the list, you guys, The Exorcist Part 2, The Heretic, released in 1977.
Father Lamont is hired by the Vatican to investigate Father Marin and Karras' deaths. While doing this, he discovers Reagan is now being targeted by the same demon again, because she now has psychic abilities?
I really think the only saving grace of this movie is that they got Linda Blair to come back. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, the plot of this movie, it's confusing as hell. Like, I am so serious. When I watched this for the first time, I really had no idea what was going on. We keep bouncing around places a lot in this movie, and they introduce like this technology to get into your mind, and then the demon wants to come possess Reagan again, I think. But compared to The Exorcist, what the fuck, you guys? Now, part 3, surprisingly, is actually pretty good, and it has one of the best jump scares ever. Alrighty, you guys, the last movie on our list today is, drumroll please, what I describe as a fart of a movie, The Descent Part 2, released in 2009.
Sarah, having escaped the tunnels, if you watch the US ending because the UK ending was too sad, loses her memory about what happened. So these dumb cops decide it's a great idea to bring her back down there to find any survivors, and Juno comes back for whatever the fuck reason.
To this movie, I say, what the fuck? Now, something I really loved about part 1 was that the director was so passionate with what he created here, to the point where he absolutely refused to use any studio lighting. Even the crew had something to say about it. But he wanted to stay true to the situation that these girls were in, and thus creating the perfect horror movie environment.
Didn't want there to be any like real gratuitous light sources in this cave. I mean, it's proving a problem as we're filming it.
And this movie said, oh yeah, you know, I can do that too. And then look what we have. Look at all this beautiful studio lighting. Gosh, am I feeling claustrophobic now, you guys? And you know what I have to say to this? That's what this movie gets from me. A fake fart. Now, of course, you guys, there are a couple more movies that really hit that category of not being a good horror movie sequel. But we're gonna start wrapping it up here, you guys, with some honorable mentions.
What do you mean having a shark come after Chief Brody's wife in the Bahamas isn't a good idea? They should have called this one, I'm starting to forget what you did last summer. Boring and predictable, but the other ones are really good. How dare they call this a Paranormal Activity movie? Return to Salem's Lot? Why did they want to come back? More spooky videotapes, but this time in a farm. Ooh. This turned into a fucked up game show.
Alright, you guys, that wraps it up for this episode of Mootini. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to hang out more. Well, that was rude. And for those who like to leave comments on YouTube videos, what is a horror movie sequel that really missed the mark for you? As usual, you guys, all the links to my social medias are going to be here and in the description down below. Alrighty, you guys, see you next time. Mootini out! This is real love, you guys. I'm not letting what I'm doing interfere what he's doing. He can do whatever he wants while I'm filming. He knows that. And I'm really happy that he's playing this game right now with all of our friends. And also, he's being so extremely respectful by trying to be as quiet as he can while I film here. I love, love, love this man of mine. James!
What?
I love
Love you
you!
too.
Yay!
I'm in the middle of a freak out right now. Come back to me.
Are you okay?
No, Dylan just fucked shit up hardcore.
Dylan, I know you're watching this. Damn!